Mm. Uh, there we go. Hi, it's me, Joe. I'm alive. This is an update. Yes, what you saw here is not a clickbait. I'm actually have like so many things that I have to talk about, but and this is gonna be a long one. But I promise I'm gonna be cool with everybody. Um, well, I know I haven't fall off from a couple of friends and things like that, but it all happened 9 months ago. Let's start with actually there was like a story with my sister. Now I'll explain later about my sister, and I'm not gonna talk about just little quick what's going on after, and then I'm gonna put the main story. Well, and there are two main stories rather. Um, my sister had a kind of an accident, and something happened to her, and she had to go to the hospital. It was a surgery, but it turned out to be a huge surgery. While this was happening, it was like in the middle of it. It's like we thought, oh, we pay for everything. So I went and I bought a computer. In the computer, there was like PC parts, and I got it from PC Part Picker. But from the very beginning, it was told to me and advised that the motherboard was something that you have to check, which does not compel to the CPU that I bought. I mean, the chip, the CPU processor. So if you want to know the specs and go nerdy about it, it was like the original was that I bought a motherboard, but it was something called what was it, gigabyte, whatever. It was a well, it was a shit one. And my CPU, my processor, was an AMD 7. Now, what happened is that this CPU processor AMD 7 5800X, that's the model. Uh, Note that I discovered later on, but it doesn't have video. So it took me many months later that it happened, the whole thing. Um, what happened was I was fixing my computer, but I have to send it to a mechanic, an actual an engineer, so they know what the hell's happening to the computer. It turned out that it was an old motherboard, the first one. In the meantime that this was happening, they were not telling me anything, but it was like, you need a new motherboard, so I didn't have time for it. From November to all the way to January, I bought a new motherboard, but they never fixed it because guess what? The place was moving. How? Well, they were getting a new owner, or they were fixing the owner, or whatever. So the owner didn't give a crap about notes or anything, and I was like, why you're not helping the engineers? So I never had communication with the notes because she never called the engineer, and the engineer had to figure out stuff out for himself. So it was kind of really bad. So they were moving next door, literally across the street, because it was a local that it was smaller and they had stuff, so they can afford all the stuff. Because apparently they couldn't afford the first local, so it was like new owner of the local. So it's like it was a kind of crazy thing. So I have to move from that and take my computer, retrieve it, and go to my home and wait for another one that I found that is in another place nearby. And I was like, okay, we can go to this place. It looks cheaper, but let's try it. Maybe I can do something about it. And I saw that it had computers, that it was like gaming computers and stuff like that. And I go like, this is a special one. And I told him, this is built up. I just need to put this CPU on this. Well, it turned out that the first CPU was burned. So even that I have the motherboard and stuff like that, the CPU was burned. So I had to get a new CPU, a new processor with a new motherboard, and the second time. So thankfully this second place they work it out, and everything was nice. But that took all the way. Now, in the midst of this, freaking huge tragedy struck. Not only that, what happened to my sister was already happening and we were paying for the bills, which we were getting out of it, which was nice. We got a car crash. So many of you have seen it on Twitter, so many of you haven't not seen it, and I'll show, but I don't want to, well, it's kind of difficult to explain. Happily, the only thing that it was destroyed, it was the radiator. So glass, everything, nothing happened to us. Barely. But I didn't know, and then I had to take just a week off from my work. So I was getting stressed and more stress and more stress and more stress. And it was like, this is gonna drive me insane, isn't it? So from that time to now, last week, I got two big news. One from Twitch, one from myself. I got a breakdown, nervous breakdown. So I had to go to the hospital. I didn't know what I was like having on my stomach. I had food poisoning plus what I was having my nervous breakdown. The food poisoning was the only thing that was problematic from that, but it's kind of soft at this point because I don't have the problem anymore. One problem, but I'm still nervous, so I'm taking pills right now. But the bad news is that yeah, I have to move to say this. So I got high school in the middle of it. So it's like, yeah, and it's real. It's not that I'm putting like, oh, I'm making up new stories. No, I thought I was like, I can handle it. I can put high school, the car crash just happened, and I can do this and I can do that. And well, and I wanted to do a podcast and I want to write stories and so many projects. I want to make so many things. The podcast hasn't been done yet, but we have all the elements now. So I'm working on it. And finally, I had the computer working and running, and as you can see, it's running. But yeah, this has been recorded on the new computer because on my old computer, not only the link cable will connect, there's so many things on my computer that will go like, just go crazy, and for some reason it will not uh, put it in, which is annoying. So I decided, okay, let's move on. So I put this new computer and I'm recording on this new computer. But yeah, I have to do everything for myself. So what the the bad news is that there's kind of a nervous thing, so the car crash and all that stuff. The biggest one, it was like very from November that, well, my sister got a surgery, a really big one, and because we were trying to pay the bills and everything, there was so many things happening because we have to go to the hospital every single week. There was a single week that every single day I have to go 1 in the morning on the hospital. While I had to go to work at 7 a.m. on my work, or sometimes even in the afternoon, which was nice, but I will still have to go to work. So I have barely anything to sleep. So I couldn't sleep. uh, Sometimes I was like, oh, can I sleep? I slept for sometimes like 3 days. So this is why it took me to say that I had a nervous breakdown later on. I'm okay now. I got to the a clinic, and they saw the problem and they say like, okay, the problem that we can fix right now is this. So they took me with pills. So I'm being treated and I'm all right. I just cannot drink soda or alcohol right now, obviously. Um, but I've been drinking Pedialyte and uh milkshakes. Like there was like a protein slash with vitamins, kind of a thing called Ensure. Delicious stuff, actually, surprisingly. Surprisingly, because it's like I was expecting to medicine, nasty, blech. But or at least for me, like I have no problem eating this, but I have to eat one per day because then, yes, my system goes in extreme shock. So but those are the news. The thing about my sister, the major surgery, is like she had to do something very personal for her, so she got into a problem for the next month or so, from November to now. Well, from November to February, it was like okay, getting better, but we got the car crash thing. So for me, it's like, yeah, it was kind of nervous breakdown. The work was also insane because it was like, and I kid you not, this is why I got the nervous breakdown, because at work it was like, oh, I got high school. Immediately of that, my boss quits. Also, story. I'm not making this up. I really am not. I hope you cannot write this up and go like, oh, this for real. I assure you. And there was like people dropping because there was like the season was over, so it was already way before after February. So it was like by March I got like a week or two just like relax, relax, all cool. But I got the problem because I never fixed myself. I never went to a hospital when I had the car crash. I never went to a hospital when my sister had the problem, and I wanted to pay all the bills, which I am highly considering right now just because the bills that I'm paying. I want to do a GoFundMe. I really do, but I also feel bad if I just go like automatically, look, it's a GoFundMe, because well, uh I'm not the type of person that well takes money just to take money. And it's like, oh, fund me because I'm feeling bad. No, I like to do like streams or some kind of a charity or something in between the lines. I'm still, I know that I'm still thinking about it, but I go like, I don't like taking people's money. I really don't. But I want to do it so I can continue making these videos. Makes sense, I guess. I want to put some money on these videos and do much better quality. This is why I have like VR. This is why I have a computer, supercomputer now. This has 3 hard drives now. It has like a USB. I'm about to install a mixer with condenser, all nice and fucking nice and everything. And I know how to do this. Some of the stuff. Anyhow, I'm very very happy that I'm right here and I'm okay, somewhat okay physically. But but I have to really say that on my level of my job in the place that I'm living, it's getting to the point that it's kind of impossible to pay for bills because an emergency like this just cripples me out, and I cannot, well, be happy. I really can't. The tongue. Oh, I finally figured out how to take the tongue out. What a fuck! In the middle of a video. So, uh, so yeah, it's like I got sad to explain people that I cannot longer be consistent on the videos of YouTube because on my work, the work that I'm right now, consists on every week is a new week. So I don't know what's gonna happen the next week. Sometimes because I'm on call, I have to be present on the job. So for example, I have the this Saturday they told me, "Oh, you're gonna come Friday, which is tomorrow for this video. Uh um look, you will have to work from this time to that time." And it was 12:30 to 9:30 p.m. or something like that. And I was like, okay, okay. I don't like it, but I'm not super fan about it, but let's do it because I always do it at that time. So I was like, okay. But then it's like, oh no, we had a problem, a slightly changed. So you're gonna, everybody's gonna come out from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I went, oh, okay, uh, sure. Like it was a problem. It's like, no, we have to fix things. And it's like, okay then. So they just told me this in the morning, this morning, today. So it's like, can I do some of the work, put videos on YouTube? Can I do this? It's gonna be complicated. So I'm happy to say that all the computer is fixed. I have a new motherboard, new CPU. It's working well. As you can see, it's like working perfectly. And I'm putting videos, and I'm making sure that this is like a good quality now. I want to do like new things, new projects. For example, I thought like let's do a VR chat world of my bar, but refixed, or rather a fixed version of my bar, and of an updated version of it. I want to update the version of it, and then I want to update, or I want to make places that I already thought about. Like I want to do like that talk host show place. I want to gather a couple of my friends and go like, hey, let's do this and let's do that, and I start inviting people and just meeting people, or I don't know. It's like making something. Um, I'm still on the work of progress. I hope this actually works for a couple of the Shivas. As you can see, this is well, it's a Shiva PD stuff. Eh, yeah, the model belongs to PPD, but everything is like well. So even though that my real life is kind of sucky, I managed to do a couple things that are nice, and uh, and I'm thinking of putting like cool music and nice music and stuff like that. Um, for example, something that happened is that I was listening to the new of the Twitch thing, which this is gonna be another thing, but with more relaxed news, but it's like kinda sucky because I know companies will not like this, but it could be a good deal at several that I'm searching because you can do you can no longer do sponsorships type of thing that is outside of Twitch, which is well, it's kind of stupid. It's kind of good and it's kind of dumb at the same time because it's dumb for big platforms, but it's not so dumb for somebody who's like a small streamer because generally it's like that. The problem is like could distinguish what is like a commercial. For example, I'm planning to make commercials. I was already fixing the commercials, but my commercials are mine. For me, mine. The only not out Twitch, not it's literally on Twitch, it's mine and everything. But I'm just wondering, can I do this? And for example, if the banners of sponsorships and things like that should be 3%, it's like no. Or for example, some of the commercials could be like commercials from the 80s because I found a couple places that it's like pretty nice that I can put a couple commercials here just for the memory of it. I feel a little bit like what was that? If you know what I'm talking about, like the Mart. What was like the uh what is the Mart? This Mart that is like in Las Vegas and it's an experimental place. Anyway, I already Omega Mart. There we go. Omega Mart is not exact. Well, it's commercials, but the commercials are fake. But the experiments are kind of strange, even still. Like it's just an art installation. If you want to know what it is. By this point, spoilers alert. It's not longer a spoiler. But yeah. My point is that with all this talk and everything, I hope everybody's okay. Don't overdo stuff because it's bad. I guess, as you can see. Okay, get nervous like me and I go to the hospital, whatever. But but thanks everybody. Thanks for the support. We'll think about the GoFundMe. I know this is like, well, should I put it or should I don't put it? I don't do this so I can take advantage of people. I really don't. I don't like that at all. I really, really don't like when somebody takes advantage of like money type of thing. I really don't. I really, really don't like that. Um, because then you'll have like the problem going like, how can you explain it? Like, are you gonna back it up? You know, like people get kind of angry at this stuff, and it's not only that, but with a good reason. It's a really good reason. It's like, why shouldn't get mad taking money? But I want to make videos like this, so that's why. Another reason is that I decided to demonetize my videos, so none of what I'm gonna do is like monetized through YouTube. Um, I also decided Twitch is gonna be like a little bit strange and jumping on and off. But the good thing is that I connected everything to the main computer, to the old computer, so I can stream on the old computer, but you can still see the good quality stuff from the good computer. So that's another plus. Um, Hopefully, people understand why I'm going through paying so much stuff and well doing so many things. But I I make the worst decisions sometimes, and I hope people understand why. I wish I can do a lot of things. That's why I'm doing all this. I really wish to do like a good quality stuff. That's why I take like the extra steps and things like that. That's a real reason. It's a real reason, and this is the time to make content, production, material. I just don't believe that content is just like content. I believe in material. I'm a big believer on the old style of Hollywood, or rather, a good version of like what that was taking risks on the early days. Um, and this is another reason why I'm kinda not looking at Hollywood right now. I really am not. This is why I haven't seen Marvel movies. This is why I haven't seen many of the things. It's just I can't. If I see it free, okay, but then I'll get like, well, some are nice, some are not so good, and well, I wanted to do something that people can like. I really do. Thanks for all the support. I will keep doing stuff. I'm still alive. I still make things. Many projects on the future are coming up, but I want to focus on one thing at a time. So this is why it's gonna be strange looking at me on streams or whatever and whatnot. And and this is also why I will be asking for money. All donations are supported on PayPal, and it goes to PayPal, and I'm gonna put a link on it. I will fix it to the Twitch and everything, so everybody can put some effort. You will helping us all, but you will helping me make videos and entertain and do more silly stuff like glitches on GTA 5 or whatever, or even the craziest one, Satisfactory, or whatever games actually come up. If I can come up with more video games. Currently, I'm actually working on the new computer so I can get some more content. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Stay fluffy, my friends.